Welcome to another episode of the Connecting Through Technology podcast powered by Intellacall. I'm your host, Jonathan Kaur, and today I have the privilege of speaking to Keone Padilla, the sales manager for Northwest Barricade and Signs, a full-service traffic control company. Welcome to the show, Keone.
Hey, thank you. Nice to meet you, John.
Awesome. Well, let's kick this off, Keone, and have you share with the audience, a little bit about the how and why you got started in the construction industry, specifically at Northwest Barricade and Signs.
I started here as just a shop guy working out back, cleaning the no parking signs and delivering signs and essentially just doing whatever it had to that needed to be done. My father-in-law founded Northwest Barricade and Signs in 2014, so I kind of have the shoes to sit in there as being the son-in-law. So I just wanted to make sure that we were always working from the ground up and that we were, started just at the basics, learning how to make the signs, build what we do, learn what we had to do from the bottom up.
So is this your first role in more of the construction industry, or have you had prior experience in the construction industry?
No, my prior experience in the construction industry is actually doing the work. So I was a pipe layer when I started out, a young kid. I didn't know, coming out of high school, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. Didn't really have, a million options. So I hopped in the ditch like my old man was. So I went straight in the ditch and became a pipe layer to begin with. And then by the time I turned about 34, I wanted to get out of the ditch and get into something a little bit.
Yep. Awesome. Well, that's really encouraging and great to see. I've seen different stories, whether it is, a story within your case where you worked, with your hands and did that, and then eventually transitioned to more of sales or kind of in office. Not saying you're not still going out to the field, because you mentioned you're doing that as well, but it's just cool to see that progression. And obviously you understand, the ins and outs, specifically with your expertise there. So, right now, the elephant in the room across all conversations is this, COVID-19, is this pandemic that's going on.
Yes.
And so my question for you is, how is Northwest Barricade and Signs doing during this pandemic, and how has it changed the way you do business?
Well, Northwest Barricade is really one of three entities. We have Northwest Barricade and Signs, which we handle all the plastics and the traffic control stuff you would see the normal construction workers setting up on the freeway. We also have Northwest Flagging, which is a full service flagging and traffic control setup, takedown, flaggers, full mobile setup. And then our third kind of thing that we have is Northwest Safety and Apparel, which I'm sitting in our safety and apparel store right now. So how we've done during COVID is we've made sure that we're supplying the projects that are still going. And then we've kind of shifted from supplying the major projects on the orange side, and as I call it, as far as the cones, and we supply more of the N95 masks and the respirators, and the safety side has really taken a hold through COVID and allowed us to make sure that we're able to at least pay the bills and make sure all the employees are able to be fed and their families are fed and everything's works out good. For your second part of the question, our big thing is that we know how difficult it is for the general population and for everybody on earth to get out and about and get the things that they need. So our goal, our business strategy was to kind of shift from, hey, we have a store here that you can come and shop in, to we want to bring the store to you. Anything in our store, we'll deliver it. We're even utilizing our barricade drivers to deliver safety products instead of just the barricade products that they would normally deliver. So kind of a switch in safety.
Yeah, for sure. And prior to us, hitting record and getting this podcast started, I was, we were chatting a little bit about how, your conversations have been different with customers. Some customers are open to, meeting in person, obviously masked and taking all the safety protocols. But how has that process been like for you? How have you approached, finding out if customers are willing to meet in person or not?
Really, old school tactic. You got to ask. You won't know unless you ask. We like to maintain a great relationship with our customers. If we can do business without being around each other and without having to be face to face, then obviously that's what we're trying to do. But some of the projects require actually boots on the ground and me standing in the middle of the freeway looking at a project, doing measurements, I'm standing there with other members. So when we can, we try to avoid, all the contact, but they really, we're, what we do is an essential for the construction industry. I mean, we supply and service some of the biggest projects in the Pacific Northwest with all of their construction, from TMA trucks to signage to invert paint to temporary striping tape, Tyvek suits, N95 masks. I mean, we just want to be an all-around supplier to make sure that the companies are getting their work done on schedule, even though that we know they're behind during COVID.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a subject that I want to unpack a little bit. You'd mentioned obviously you guys are servicing and working with some of the working on some of the biggest projects around the Northwest. What types of customers does Northwest Barricade and Signs work with, and who really is like the target audience that you guys try to look to partner with?
So our target audience and partnerships really, I mean, I want to be able to sell you a sign if you have a son named Johnny and he wants a Johnny's Room Keep Out sign. I want Johnny to be able to come in our sign shop, see how it works, and be able to look at it and buy a sign that says Johnny's Room Keep Out. Or if WashDOT needs a sign that needs to hang over 520, I want to be able to supply that also. So, I mean, we have no real like script client base like most companies would have. We really are just, we want to be here to help. That's our main goal, is to help. And if you need help with your son's birthday present, I got your back. And if you need help hanging a WashDOT sign on the freeway, we can help that also.
We hope you're enjoying today's episode. Here's a quick shout out to today's sponsor. Intellacall is a video software that connects your customers with anyone in your organization with just one click from your website. But in a world filled with video software, why should you consider Intellacall? I'll tell you why using one word: simplicity. Intellacall allows you to connect via video without downloading any software, sending any meeting IDs, or passwords. On top of that, Intellacall integrates directly onto your website, so if any customers or prospects want to get in contact with you directly, they can do just that. For more information on Intellacall or to schedule a demo, please visit us at www.intellacall.com. And now, back to today's episode. A part of obviously understanding your target audience, which for you guys, it sounds like you guys work with, as small as, a customer, or anything as, as big as, a project, on the freeway or something like that you were mentioning. So what is your process of actually getting the word out there, especially for you as a sales manager, working for Northwest Barricade and Signs? What's your process for like generating leads or, doing outreach to people that maybe haven't heard you or work with you yet?
So our major process, and I hate to say this in the technology, especially on a technology podcast, is word of mouth. I treat people good. We treat people good. We're honest about our business. And the construction industry is a tight-knit little industry. And as you know as well as I do, there's a lot, if one little thing happens, everybody's going to know about it. And I just want to be, the construction industry's choice. I want to be the choice, like the people's choice of the construction industry's choice for a supply company. We want to take care of you with good prices and great service. And that's really what that's how we've grown, and that's how we do a little bit of digital marketing. I have a few billboards going, we have some radio ads going, and we do LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, and there's a few, outlets that we do advertising on, but mainly the best advertising for me is when I did you right, you tell your friend to call me because I'm going to do him right.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, especially from a digital aspect, let's incorporate technology. I think, some of the best ways to find out how well you're doing is you think about when you go on Amazon, let's say you find a product you want, you go all the way down so you can read reviews to see what are people actually, saying about this product. And I think in the same way, whether it is word of mouth, because like I agree, it's a tight knit group as far as the construction industry is concerned, but there are other ways for people to learn about it, whether it's a Google review, Yelp, so many different avenues. And so that piece makes sense. I wanted to ask you, since you are sitting in one of your shops right now where you guys sell safety merchandise, and you also mentioned that you guys also ship. Do you guys do you guys have like a e-commerce website, or have you guys gone that route yet, or what's that whole process looking like for you guys?
Hey, that process started in January, and I'm not all the way complete with it yet. No, to be honest, we're wrapping up our e-commerce website. Um, we're getting it. It should be going live. I The website developers are a different type of uh, project management people, so they're saying we should be live by the end of the month. But with all my hopes and goals and make sure everything's kinked out, we want to be live by the first of the year and up and ready to go. So our goal is to be. I hate using this. I hate comparing myself to this. So and I don't even want to call it a goal. Right, Amazon and construction is what we're right. But I want to be more. I would say hands-on with the customers, right? Like really go over what you need and not just a guy that shows up and drops a box off on your doorstep.
For sure. Yeah. You want to add that personal touch, which is very common within the construction industry, getting to know your customers, different aspects like that. So, specific, like, so the goal of this podcast, connecting through technology. Right now, we're leveraging technology to connect, which is awesome. But there's so many different ways to connect, whether it's, people doing video chat, or people, leveraging platforms like LinkedIn to do some outreach. And so I wanted to ask you, especially, you have a background in the construction industry, and it's very face-to-face interaction is super, like, you want to be able to see somebody, shake their hand,
Yep.
get a feel of what they're like. So I wanted to ask you, especially now having had done adjusted, whether it's online or doing different avenues to try and get leads or sales done, how much more important or how big of a factor is face-to-face interaction when it comes to closing deals?
I think it's huge. I mean, face-to-face interaction, even a computer screen face-to-face, like you can tell somebody's emotions. Like, have you ever heard the analogy, like when a text never comes across the way it's supposed to come,
Yep.
right? So we're real big on people, and we're real big on making sure that we're personal with everybody. And, um, the face-to-face reactions and the face-to-face dealings that I have with my customers are crucially vital to what we have going on. Like along with that, like for instance, one of the face-to-face things that we have that ends up being technology is, have you ever heard of Icon?
I actually haven't.
Icon is a suite of products that's called Connected Tech. So a quarter of our fleet is outfitted with it currently. And what it is when I turn my flashing beacons on out there on the roadways when I'm on the side of the road, it automatically sends an alert, Google Maps and Waze, saying that Northwest Barricade is on the road and is active out there, and there's a hazard. So please go around
Wow.
Northwest Barricade.
That's
So
awesome.
that's one of the, like, we call it connected tech, right? Because we're actually taking that tech and we're putting it on the vehicles, on the dump trucks, on the rollers that are on the side of the street. And we're actually, there is that hands-on approach to it, right? Because I got to bolt this box to the back of your truck. And once we bolt it on and hook it up, you're actually connected through tech via, your normal navigation apps. So that's a thing Northwest Barricade has come out with this year. We partnered with Icon Products Inc., and we're the first ones in Washington to set up a closure with it. And we're the first ones in Washington to actually use it on our vehicles.
That's really encouraging, and I think even you sharing that piece is, especially with a more traditional, old school industry like construction. I like hearing these types of stories where companies in construction or construction companies are leveraging technology, not necessarily just to be like, hey, we have the technology. No, it's to become more efficient. It's to deliver a better service or experience for your customers. And I think especially you guys spearing the head with that is super encouraging. So I wanted to ask you, is there any other maybe technology you guys are leveraging in house other than like your traditional email? Like, do you guys do anything with like maybe Teams or different chat or like technology there?
Not really. Really, it's all about, like, we do a little bit with Teams here and there, and I Zoom. I save my Fridays for Zoom meetings because I hate being in the office. I got ADHD, so I'm the guy that clicks the pen. I have to put a pen down, you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm the guy that'll click the pen the whole time, right? So I save my Zoom meetings usually for Fridays, and we do a couple Zoom meetings three, four Zoom meetings every Friday. So like we have to have some of the tech stuff because there's just people that I can't get to meet that normally I'd fly and go meet them or go to another state. A couple of our partners, Royal Truck and Equipment, they're based out of Pennsylvania, so I haven't been able to get hands on and in the warehouse and in the workshop like I need to be over there. Icon Products, they're out of Syracuse, New York, so same thing. We've been doing a lot of Zoom things from across the country when normally I just hop on a red eye and go over there and get it done. You know what I mean?
Let's say from like a construction standpoint, there's a lot of people that are, I would say, more reserved. Like, they don't like to be in front of a camera or different things like that. But one of the things I noticed on your LinkedIn is you don't mind popping your phone out and taking a video of yourself and showing, these projects that you're working on. I wanted to ask you how has that benefited you in any way, if anything? Like, or like, did you have any sort of fear about doing that? Because I know, like I said, in construction, I would say people are more conservative, more reserved. Hey, don't, let me just do my thing and move on.
Um, I at first I was like strictly pictures of like the job sites. I'm not getting on the camera. And then I actually watched this LinkedIn. It was a video on LinkedIn, and it was a breakdown of how we will be marketed to in the next coming years. The 30-second to 1 minute video is in, and the commercial and the pictures are out. So I kind of changed my marketing, and that's when I started doing some more of the videos. Like, hey guys, I'm out here. Like, I don't have a marketing team or editing team by no means. I got me and my iPhone, and we just try to make it happen as best we can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love one day to have a marketing team and an advertising team and have all that stuff available. But right now, me and my cracked iPhone right here, we're just gonna make it happen.
You're a smart guy, Keone. You're seizing the opportunity. Like I said, that's encouraging. I think I think you and also too your company, Northwest Barricade and Signs, is paving the way as far as the way the industry of construction is going to start to shift. More people are going to start adopting technology, whether it's like the navigation tool that you guys are using, or means for video, or means for content. Because realistically, especially now, it's like we're living in a digital age, and especially with this pandemic, it accelerated a lot of the need for more digital adoption within the business. So that's really encouraging to see. So if people are interested in learning more about you, and then also too about the Northwest Barricade and Signs, what are some of the best platforms or places to check you guys out?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn is really probably my favorite platform. I'm no credit; they're not paying me to say this, but it's just you lose all the extra stuff, and when somebody's pure and they're not doing business, it shows. And sometimes the extra distractions end up on some of those other platforms. And so, I mean, but the best way to find us, come in the store. The the owner's sitting right here at his desk right now in the store, and he's here at 5 o'clock every morning. And we are a family-owned, family-run company, and if we will be right there to help anybody who wants us to. If you want me to come out and see you, we could have done this live. I'm on my way. So whatever you want to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Keone, for coming on the podcast and sharing some of the insight, obviously your experience in construction, and also too some of the awesome things you guys are doing at Northwest Barricade and Signs. And yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Hey, thank you very much. If any other time you guys need anything else, let me know.